Well, hey there. Today I thought I'd do an interview. I know what you're thinking. Interview? You don't do no stinking interview. Well, I am today. This particular interview is with Dustin and Leslie of Wayward Wags. They've got their own YouTube channel and they are full-time RVers. This should be interesting. Got some questions and answers for you. You've just entered the coolest life. All right, well, hey, just wanted to say how much I appreciate Dustin and Leslie here with Wayward Wags. They've got their own YouTube channel. They've been traveling the country and seeing a lot of things, and I watch a lot of their videos. Be sure to check out their videos on and their link to their YouTube channel. But let's go ahead and get started. I got some questions I want to drill them with.
Cool,
of course, they got this all of a sudden because they knew I was coming, but they didn't know I had a bunch of questions probably.
It's cool. We're down.
So I figured they would be. That's why I went ahead and typed them up some stuff so we could look at. So what made you want to RV in the first place?
We were just tired of the daily grind, the 9 to 5,
Sure.
the working to pay for the stuff that you don't have time to use.
Yeah.
and really just wanted to see the country. You know, we spent a lot of time. Well, I did 20 years in the military, so we've seen a lot of the country and we traveled a lot, but
Not necessarily the nice stuff of the country.
not all the cool stuff that we wanted to see.
Right.
It was
They
kind
don't
of
put post in the greatest of.
That's for sure. That's for sure. Or on the right side of town or anything like that. Yeah. I had a friend of mine used to say, he says that we tend to get in there sticks and bricks. We buy things we don't need with money we don't have to impress people we don't even like.
Yeah.
Exactly what we do.
And we had this huge, nice house that sat there empty while we're working.
Right.
We had nice cars that sat in the parking lot while we worked.
Yeah.
And we had all this stuff that we didn't really need,
Yeah.
you know, or didn't have time to use. So
Sure.
we're like, let's minimalize, let's get our daughter into college, and let's go enjoy the country that we, you know, have not been able to see yet.
Yeah, if it
Gotcha.
meant less stress.
Way less stress. Yeah.
So you decided to go RV shopping. Why did you settle on fifth wheel instead of, say, a motorhome or C-Class, a van? You know?
Space.
Yeah.
Sure.
Living space. I
Gotcha.
didn't want to be drastic and go from a big house to a little confinement
Sure.
and regret it. I
Gotcha.
didn't want to have buyer's remorse.
Yeah.
Be like, I should have went with something else.
When we started, we were open to everything.
We did look at everything.
And when we first started looking, we started looking at toy haulers because we had motorcycles at the
Okay.
time.
Nice.
And because of combat-related injuries,
Yeah.
I was then not able to ride anymore. And so we kind of went away from the toy hauler because we didn't want to bring motorcycles and all that extra weight,
Right.
spend all that extra money on a toy hauler
Yeah, a lot
for stuff that we might not be able to use very often. Like I could go on short rides and stuff like that, but we didn't want to spend
Gotcha.
that much money if it was just a possibility.
Right.
Yeah.
So then we were looking at everything. We didn't rule anything out. We did a lot of RV shopping, a lot of YouTubing,
Yes.
looking
Nice.
at models online.
Yes.
And we just settled on fifth wheel because it gives you the most living space in the shortest amount of length.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree with that. Gotcha. So when do you think you would trade this one in? Do you have an exit plan for that? Do you think you may go smaller? Because I've seen a lot of people that will get a fifth wheel and they're in it for 2 or 3 years and they're like, dang it, we want to get in some of the nicer, smaller RV parks that we can make those turns. So we're going to downsize and get like a 32 footer, or they're going to get something.
People like that. already that
You don't think you're
regret going over 40 feet,
right?
and are looking for smaller.
Yeah.
And that's what we said. 35 seemed like the best median for us. It's not too small that we will feel cramped, and it will most likely fit into every place we want to visit.
Gotcha.
So it's
without
been
any
pretty
problem.
comfortable. I don't see
Yeah.
us going smaller.
Yeah, no.
We're pretty comfortable in this.
I think that's about as small as I can go.
Yeah, if anything, we would go if I were eventually cleared to be able to ride motorcycles again. That's one of our passions. We love
Yeah.
riding motorcycles. So if I was ever medically cleared to do that again, we probably would upgrade to a toy hauler and get motorcycles again and
Gotcha.
be able to go out and ride. Because a lot of the places we go out and travel, we're like, this would be a great place to ride, man. But can't ride right now. So working with docs and a bunch of different physical therapies and stuff like that to try to get
Okay,
back
gotcha.
to it. So we'll see how it goes in the
Gotcha.
next couple of years.
Now I've seen people that have had fifth wheels. Sometimes their spouse will still drive a 4-wheeler behind them somewhere,
Yes.
or they
Yeah.
won't drag one. Most of them won't drag one, tow one, but they'll. If you thought about something like that, or for an extra vehicle, or
Don't want to do
Not
that.
really.
Okay.
No, it's pretty easy to unhook from the truck
Okay.
and just take the truck. And we have a single rear wheel.
Okay.
So we don't have a dually.
okay,
So it's still pretty easy to navigate
Right.
until you get like into those downtown situations.
Right.
And like parking garages. It gets a little tight even
Sure.
though it's a single rear wheel. But for the most part, we haven't had too many problems with the truck.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't want. We don't drive for long periods of time anyway. But I still wouldn't want to be following behind him
sure,
for a couple hours by myself, hauling something
yeah,
along with him.
Like
Plus, that's another vehicle. It's more maintenance.
expensive.
You know, it's more
Insurance.
gas. It's more
Yeah, it's more
everything.
everything.
Yeah.
What would you say you've enjoyed the most out of your journey so far?
Ooh.
And this is I'm leaving that wide open. I don't want to
I
say
mean, there's a lot.
most about the RV or the
Yeah.
people or the places. Or just what do you think is the most? Some of the things maybe stick out in your mind.
One of the best things is just being able to do whatever we want when we want.
Gotcha.
No
freedom,
schedule
flexibility.
anymore.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
As much as I am structured with stuff, it's like if we wake up and we just not feel like going anywhere, we don't go anywhere. You know?
Or if you feel like moving somebody like yesterday, then you
Yeah.
can have to move somebody.
Man.
Just having that option
Yeah.
to do or not do instead of
Yeah.
being in that rut of the workforce.
Y'all ever miss mowing the grass?
No.
Really? Not at
I
all.
didn't mow anyway.
How
She
are you
mowed.
gonna say
Is
that?
that right?
That's-
Well, that's why I kind of didn't.
mowed.
That's why I didn't point at
Yeah,
you.
she mowed.
I was I did like it
Uh-huh.
because it was, to me, that's like therapeutic to be outside
exactly.
and doing that stuff. And I'm very OCD about how things look, so
Mm-hmm.
I wanted it to look nice. But when we were planning the whole process and downsizing, and we had sold the house, hadn't moved out yet, but we had sold it.
Uh-huh.
I started those weekends that I was mowing. I started to look forward to not having to come out in the heat and do that anymore.
I can understand that.
Started to
Yeah.
sound nice, knowing the end was near.
Yeah. I grew up doing a lot of the yard work
Okay.
and landscaping
Yeah.
Okay.
as a kid. So, and I got older, I was like, I don't want to do it anymore.
So he was lucky he married somebody who loved doing all that stuff.
I've never really enjoyed the yard work, but I noticed that when I was renting, I kind of missed it. After about a year I was renting, I was like,
Yeah.
gosh, we should go mow the yard today. Just to have something, like you said, just to
Yeah,
Yeah.
be busy like that. Yeah.
it's a stress
Yeah.
reliever.
What about your relationships with people? I know you're on the road a lot, so you're not exactly caravanning with a lot of people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you miss that, or is that something you?
We have actually built some of the best relationships that we have ever had
Yeah.
on the road. When we were back in our sticks and bricks, we barely knew our neighbors. It was very
Literally
like
barely
cordial.
knew.
Hi, how you doing? I'm tired from work. I'm going inside.
Right.
And out in the RV community, it's the total opposite.
Gotcha.
We'll sit and talk to people we've never met for a couple hours.
Hours.
And yeah, like we're doing now. And, it's just people are just so friendly. They're eager to talk. I
Right.
mean, it's a little bit hokey right now
Well, right
with
now.
what's going on in the world. But even at a distance, people are still they're willing to talk and hang out. And
Yeah.
so and because of our YouTube channel and because of our social media, we've been able to build that community.
Sure.
So we don't feel like we're alone,
Gotcha.
No.
even if we're out in the middle of nowhere, hanging out just me and her. We still have that it feels like a family
Yeah.
because we're online with them all the time, and we are in communication with other YouTube channels,
Okay.
and we've built friends through that platform. And so we always got somebody to talk to or hang out with.
Yeah.
And how long
even if
have you
it's
been on the road with your YouTube channel?
we started the YouTube channel about a year before we hit the road.
Yeah.
Okay.
We documented the whole process.
Okay.
And the reason we did that was because we saw all these channels on YouTube about RV life, RV living, and we'd go back and we'd start from their beginning. And their first episode was
Most
like,
of 'em.
"Hey, we're on the road.
Right.
We're hitting the road now.
Gotcha.
Day one, full
Yeah.
time."
Gotcha.
I'm like, "How did you get there?"
Yeah. Yeah,
true.
exactly.
So
Yeah.
we decided to document the selling of the house, the downsizing, the all
Okay.
the
Our
stuff that comes along with
researching.
getting ready
Right.
to be full timers,
Right.
and then kind of went into it from there. So
Gotcha.
we've been on the road since September 3rd, so about a little over 6 months on the road.
Yeah.
But we were on YouTube about a year before that, just documenting.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. What are some of the places you've seen that you maybe were surprised at, or were glad you got the chance to go to? Maybe not, they weren't even a bucket list, but they were just. You're probably going to mention the one in Houston where it was the mortuary. That one I saw. That was pretty interesting.
I love that place.
Funeral museum.
The funeral museum.
Yes,
That was really
such a
cool.
cool place.
I saw that on your channel, and I've got my niece and nephew own a funeral home up in Indiana. So I was like, oh, I got to send this to them.
Yeah, and we have met some friends in Houston, but we had some military friends there too. And it's surprising that a lot of people didn't even know that existed in their own backyard.
Right.
So we opened eyes to them.
We like to go see all the little knowns.
Yeah.
You know,
Like
the
we're gonna do all the big national
Sure.
parks and see all the stuff. Everybody needs to do that.
Right.
But we like to go hang out in some.
Yeah.
I didn't know about places.
I would say also down in the Houston Galveston area, because we met some subscribers who work at NASA,
Okay.
and they were able to get us in like a behind the scenes NASA tour.
Yeah.
The underwater buoyancy lab.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
So that's where the astronauts go
Where
under
they
the
train.
water. They get them to zero gravity, and they have an underwater International Space Station exact replica mock-up, and that's where they train for their missions down there. So all modern astronauts have trained in that pool. So it was
Wow.
really
It
cool to
was
go see
cool.
that in person, and not everybody gets the opportunity to do that.
Right.
Yeah.
So to be able to go and do stuff like that through our YouTube channel,
Yeah.
Gotcha.
because if
The
that wouldn't have
generosity of
happened,
that.
we
Sure.
wouldn't even know about it.
Sure. I can really relate to that. My a good friend of mine used to be a guard at the Tomb of an Unknown Soldier. So I got a chance to not only visit there, but because he was a guard and gave me his authorization, please give him the tour. I got to go and see where they slept and go inside. It was really neat.
Cool.
And that's something that not everybody can say. They've
Exactly.
done.
Exactly.
I was like, this is
That
nice.
awesome.
Yeah.
Wow.
Something different. Those little perks you see. That,
yeah.
Like I said, it really didn't cost you anything extra. It's just a
Sure.
matter of it's who you know and what's going on. What are some of the challenges you didn't expect in RV life?
Coronavirus?
Yeah, I didn't see that one coming.
Yeah, I don't think anybody did.
Joker came out of nowhere.
But I was going to go do something else this week.
It literally flipped our plans upside down.
We've had a few different challenges
Yeah.
already in the 6 months. We got flooded out of Branson.
Yeah, I didn't see
We
that
were like
coming.
at a lakeside RV park in middle of the night. They're banging on our door saying
You have to
flooding and you got to get out.
Oh, wow.
So we had to leave middle of the night. First time hooking up the truck in the dark. First time hooking up the truck in the rain.
rain.
And it's dark and rain and it's 3 a.m.
Oh, we always remember our
Yeah.
first.
And the first responders like, look, you got like one, maybe 2 shots at this hooking it up. Otherwise,
You got to leave it.
you got to go and hope your RV survives.
Yeah. Yeah. No pressure.
So we had that, and then we got down to Oklahoma City, and that's when that Arctic blast came
hit.
through.
Oh,
And
wow.
was that
And-
September?
It was October.
October.
That
Wow.
part was
Yeah,
October.
that was October.
The cold had hit earlier, but that
Yeah.
deep freeze was
And so it got down freezing. So froze our batteries in our
truck.
froze one of the water lines at the RV park. Not our water lines, but the actual
park.
spigot.
Okay.
Froze their spigot, so we had no water. So it was on a moving day.
Yeah.
We were supposed to be moving that day, so it was.
Our ice maker line that's exposed to the weather was frozen. And I had to sit there with a heater.
Blow dryer.
Thaw it out.
With a hair dryer.
No, so we could put the slides in, otherwise it would crack the tubing.
Yeah. So we've had some
fun.
challenges, but I will tell you, and we've talked about this before on our channel, is you have these challenges,
Sure.
and it's frustrating in the moment. Once you get to where you're going next, and you set up, you put your stairs down, you come outside, and it's all better.
Yeah.
You're good.
Yeah.
I mean, the stress really almost immediately goes away.
Yeah.
Well, people in sticks and bricks don't have challenges.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, they do.
It's a bad day in the RV towing or just living daily is still better than most days at work.
Yeah.
So being able to do that daily, I mean, what are some of the jobs that you think that people could do on the road? Maybe you're doing some of them now, or maybe you heard some of the things people that are doing this. What are some of the jobs they can do to provide an income while they're on the road?
We have some friends. They're like IT folks.
Yeah, a lot of IT people.
A lot of anything having to do with computers. People are able to do on the road
remotely.
We met some folks in Kansas City. Aaron and Tina from Jones into Travel. I think he's like a IT guy.
Yeah.
And then Lawrence and now Lawrence is an IT guy, or he
John
does some
does
kind of something like that.
photography.
Yeah, some photographers
with a
that
company.
we've met, and of course we've met some YouTubers. But
Yeah.
yeah, you're not gonna make a living on YouTube.
Right.
I mean, that's like
It's a supplement, but that's it. It is a
it'll make
supplement.
you a little bit of extra money, but don't count on that as an income.
Yeah,
Not gonna
if
happen.
you do contract work, I mean,
Yeah,
pretty.
we have met in different RV parks people who are like traveling nurses.
Mm-hmm. All right.
So they still work in hospitals,
Right.
but just contracts around the country. So they move
Mm-hmm.
to wherever the need is. And then we've also met construction workers
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
who move around
Just there
from
for the
place to
job.
place, chasing jobs.
Gotcha.
So they live in their RV full time and travel based on their work.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha.
And then some that have just to enjoy that lifestyle work camp, so they
Gotcha.
stay wherever they are for a couple months.
camp.
and
Gotcha.
work
And then we've being in the military and staying in a lot of military places. We've met a lot of people who are just fully retired military,
Mm-hmm.
like us. We are fully retired military, and because of some combat injuries, have some disability.
Right.
So with that income, it's enough to comfortably live the
Yeah.
RV lifestyle without working.
Right.
So
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. What are some things that you bought for the RV, or since this time you've gone full time, that you are so glad you got this? Maybe you didn't think you were going to need it, but you think of anything?
The Volterra stabilizer for me.
Oh, really?
That sounds probably weird. Like, why is that so? You're grateful to have that, but him and our daughter, they walk
heavy.
so heavy. It's like a herd of buffalo traveling through. That it was rocking me, and I don't get motion sickness. I like being out on boats and I fly, but in the RV it feels different.
Even
That
with the
const-
stabilizers already down, it's those extra
Yeah,
stabilizers
they're
help
extra
that.
stabilizers to keep the rocking, because I just that little motion of them walking around, I'm like, I'm gonna get nauseous with the swaying.
Yeah.
And when we bought those, it was dramatic that it doesn't rock. So that's a must for me.
Yeah.
And I saw you went through a lot of things last 30 days, I think, that you said we got
Must-have.
this one. Yeah, must haves. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's a really good.
Yeah, a
I'll
lot
put
of
that
it's
link in
just
there.
like logistical stuff, like with water
Mm-hmm.
hookups and sewer hookups and stuff that you really need. But like I would say luxury items, like the air fryer.
Love my air.
We use
Good
that
one.
almost every day, and it doesn't heat up the RV. It doesn't cause it to smell.
Right.
It's really small, and it's just enough to cook enough food for just the two of us. So the air fryer is awesome.
And it's electric, so you don't have to waste your propane.
Yeah.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah.
Stove or an oven, so-
Exactly. Solar.
Yeah.
Solar. So, have you
Yeah.
done that yet? Not at all.
No, we have not done solar.
Consider it down the road, maybe, or
Probably not.
Have
Really? Why
no
so?
plans to do solar because we don't plan on doing a lot of boondocking.
okay.
Yeah, we're more like
I love the idea of boondocking, and maybe a night or two is feasible for me. But I know myself, and we had to stay at a city park
Okay.
in Arkansas, so we only had water and electric, no sewage. I'm not good at conserving my water usage.
Gotcha.
Just not. We found out we can only go 2 days before the gray tanks are full.
yeah,
So I don't think I could alter myself enough and still feel
yeah.
like I'm not pressured to conserve so much.
Gotcha.
I think if solar wasn't as expensive,
Sure.
Then yeah,
then it might be an
maybe.
option. But you're talking about $1,000 batteries, and you're talking about a couple $100 for setup, and then if you don't know what you're doing, you're paying a few $100 for somebody to do it for you.
Right.
So I mean, with that type of an investment, I just don't
I think
see
the
us
cost
getting
to
a
benefit
return
for
on
us
it.
is
Yeah.
Right.
not. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, I saw one. They said they set up. I think they had 6 panels and 5 batteries. It was $12,000.
It's crazy. I just don't see
I'm
us
like,
getting that
you
money
know what I
back.
could do with that money?
And especially if we're eventually gonna change RVs or upgrade or
Yeah, then you
whatever,
gotta take
you
it
don't
off
want
or-
to.
Yeah.
Buy all new again. It's,
And you don't want to give away your solar setup to somebody else. 'cause
Sure.
You're not gonna get what you
What you
paid
paid
Sure.
for it. Like anything
Yeah.
you trade in, you know.
I wish I could go a week,
Uh-huh.
but I can't.
I can take a
know.
shower with a gallon of water, man.
There you go. Done it before, huh? In the middle of the woods.
Yeah, for me, it's just
I
not
feel
that
for you,
easy.
Army guys. I was in the Air Force. The only time I ever spent out in the woods in a tent, I say in the woods, it was outside in a tent. I was in the infield of Talladega.
Oh, sounds rough.
It was,
One of my
it was
favorite
terrible.
Yeah.
Most people pay money for that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I was actually there working for the Air Force. So it was great.
And
Beautiful
even though
day.
they have facilities that you could use and not have to worry about filling up your tanks
Mm-hmm.
fast like that, I know me too, and I
Right.
can't. He can. He's
Yeah.
accustomed to, because military life, you adjust to the worst conditions and you fine. I don't want to say I'm spoiled, but that's really the only word that I really can think of. Because this is like a lifestyle,
Sure.
and I don't want it. It's one thing if you're weekend camping and
Right.
or a couple of weeks in the summer and your
Sure.
family goes out. Okay, I can see roughing it,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm like day in day out. I
Gotcha.
wanna be comfortable and
Sure.
kind of feel like I'm in a house, but
Yeah.
not, but without all the maintenance and headaches of
Gotcha.
a
Yeah.
house.
And when we've had people comment like, "Well, this is huge. I mean, you're not camping." I'm like, "No, we're not. We're living, man.
This is
Glamping.
life.
If we were-
Glamour camping.
Yeah.
This
we
is our life.
live in it,
It's a
so we
house.
want it
It's
to
a
be
home.
nice
Mm-hmm.
and comfortable. And that's another reason that she did a lot of the renovations in there, painting
Yeah.
the walls,
Okay.
changing the curtains,
Sure.
and all
Make
that
it your
stuff.
own.
Make
it feel like home.
homey.
Yeah.
Yeah, not RV.
You don't have a bunch of stuff in storage?
A little bit.
Not
We have
terrible.
we have like a 5x10.
Okay.
It's mostly military stuff
Oh, okay.
that I don't want to get
Can't
rid
part
of.
with it.
And
you
like
know, but
photos.
I don't want to take all that stuff with us
Sure.
either. So
Yeah.
because space is definitely an issue in RVs.
Yeah.
But
But we didn't keep a whole lot.
no, we didn't keep a lot.
Sold and
It-
donated a
like,
lot.
we have 5x10 and it's not full.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
That's not too bad.
I think we did good.
And you're
I'm not a
done.
pack rat.
Oh,
I
okay,
can't-
well that's good. That's
He might
good.
hold on to something longer than I would be willing to. So sometimes I either sneak things out slowly. or-
Gotcha.
You're on my stuff.
Ixnay on the stuff, hey.
Yeah, man. I'm gonna go look through all my stuff right now.
Get your inventory sheet.
And
you-
what you don't know doesn't kill you.
What are your plans in 2020? Where are some of maybe the bigger places you're wanting to go and see and,
That's a
and do?
great question. We
If there was no virus, if there was no
Say, 'cause we
virus.
had a plan,
we
and that
actually
got
we
stopped.
just got done shooting a video
Yeah.
a few minutes ago that will be up tomorrow. But we were talking about our plans for 2020 because they've changed so drastically.
Sure.
We were planning on leaving from here and heading
Working our way
up to
northeast.
New York to Niagara Falls.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So going like through Tennessee, Kentucky, West Virginia, Pennsylvania. We called and canceled all that today.
Today we did that. Yeah.
Because our next one got nixed because everything's been extended, and so when you cancel one, then it's a huge gap to the next one.
And we were only doing
distance-wise.
weeks
Right.
at a time in each place. So I mean, you
So it
cancel one, you
messes
kind of
each
got to
one up.
cancel the next couple.
Right.
So you really got to reschedule the whole thing in a big chunk and move that whole timeline to the right, and hope it don't get messed up again. Or you just
Sure.
cancel and go, oh, we'll figure it out later on.
Try it
So
another
that's
time.
kind of where
Gotcha.
that's kind of where we're at right now. We
Sure.
were planning on going to Niagara Falls and then kind of making our way back down
Down the East Coast.
to Florida
Yeah.
because we are planning to go to the Super Show next January
Okay.
in Tampa.
Okay.
So we're already booked for that. We're supposed to be there. That's the only thing that we know right now.
And for the winter, we don't do winters anymore. I'm done.
Yeah.
Army made me do plenty of freezing winters. I'm not doing winters anymore. We stay south.
I'm with you. I'm with you. I grew up in Indiana. And I got five
Oh, wow.
sisters.
Yeah.
I got 3 sisters and 2 brothers, and they all live in Indiana, 15 miles from mom's house. I'm like,
man.
I ain't
Yeah.
doing it. See ya.
I'm done with snow. I'm
Yeah.
done.
Do you have an exit plan?
Not a
Not-
hard and not a hard and,
Sure.
and fast exit plan. Well, we do have options that
We have
we've
an exit
talked about.
idea
Okay.
Yeah.
when we're done.
So
doing
we're
it.
probably either going to get like a small piece of land and build like a slab
Mm-hmm.
to put an RV, or maybe a pole barn
Sure.
Yeah.
with hookups, and maybe even a couple of different places of land. Maybe one up north, one down south that we can travel between.
Nice.
Or when we were in San Antonio, we got to tour some mini mansions.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mini mansions.
seen
So they're
those.
like tiny houses, but they're
Not
not
on wheels.
They're not mobile.
Right.
Yeah.
But they're just a little house and like a
It's
one.
like a one bedroom apartment, kind
Yeah.
of, but
These
luxurious.
cabins
Yeah,
there.
kind of like that. Yeah.
Yeah, kind of like that.
So we talked about maybe putting one of those somewhere, and then keeping the RV to be able to still travel to wherever we
So
want to.
yeah,
Yeah,
if
wherever we wanna
every
go.
couple months we want to take a trip, we can.
But
Gotcha.
I think RV will always be in our as long as we're physically
Physically
able
able
to
to-
do
Physically
it.
There you
can
go.
do it, yeah.
It will always
There you
be
go.
in our plans, and then once that ship sails,
Mm-hmm.
then we'll figure out where to settle down. But we are.
If we find that place in the travels where we say, I could see staying here for
Right.
long periods of time
Yeah.
and being happy,
Right.
then
can
I
see
will
that.
consider it.
Now we've only been on the road 6 months, and as far as I'm concerned, anyway, we haven't found that place yet.
No.
So a lot of cool places,
Yeah.
but
Sure.
none of them have gone. Whoa, we could live here.
Yeah. Pump the brakes.
We'll be back.
But we do know it will be by some body of water, whether it's
Yes.
ocean, lake, river, pond, I don't care.
Okay.
Water will be involved in that view.
For sure. Even if it has to be like a
Man-made.
man-made pond on a pice of property that we buy and put our own
Sure.
piece
Yeah,
of
if we
water
can
on it.
get waterfront.
Because waterfront's expensive.
It is.
Yeah. Yeah. No, where you
We
go.
might have to make our own.
Yeah.
But I'm cool with that. I just want to be able to walk out,
It's just
throw a line in the
soothing and
water,
Sure.
relaxing.
hang out by the water.
You have kayaks or canoes, anything like that, or?
No. At some of the shows, though, we have seen like those inflatable
Inflatables.
boats that
Yeah.
are pretty neat.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
that's pretty
interested
cool.
in those.
So we might be able to do some of that. But a lot of places we go, you're able to rent stuff.
Sure.
You know, a boat or a kayak. We rented a kayak in Panama City. That was before we were RVing.
Yeah,
but
that was just a vacation.
yeah.
Gotcha.
Pass on that if you ever get the opportunity. Man, that wears your arms out.
Sure. Sure. Gotta go slow.
Yeah.
Slow. Take your
As
time.
soon as we got there, I'm like, I'm immediately regretting this decision. Like, 'cause now we're way out here. We got to get back.
That was not bad.
I've seen some others like a nomadic fanatic, Eric. He
Yeah.
does he loves to be next to the water, but he doesn't have a boat at all, ever. And no blow up. The only thing he's got blow up is what, hot tub. So
I like that
that's
too.
what he blows up.
That would be cool.
Yes.
That would be cool.
Yes.
Yeah.
If they had the space, I'd probably travel with one.
Yeah. That'd be a nice day to be out in a hot tub, man.
Yeah.
What are some of the other big things on your travel list? And you mentioned Niagara Falls. Is there any place else that is definitely on the bucket list that eventually
Yeah.
we're going to be going to see this? And what are some of those things?
For sure, Key West.
Okay.
Yes,
Down the
the
Keys.
Keys.
We want to see the Keys. We've never been out west.
Never.
Okay.
Army never stationed us out west. So farthest west we have been is Fort Sill, Oklahoma.
Okay.
Well, I mean Hawaii, but
Yeah.
That's a flyover then
Yeah.
to get there and back. Yeah.
So to see all the national parks
Briefly
out
hit-
there, like Arches and Joshua
wanna see
Tree and
everything
Grand
out
Canyon and all that stuff, and then the whole West Coast and the Northwest is really nice too, up in Oregon and Washington
Yeah.
State, and
Yeah.
all that stuff is really beautiful up there that we've seen on
yeah,
pictures and,
people
video.
who
We
have
have
been-
never been there.
People who've lived there have told us you have to go see this. It's
Yeah.
beautiful.
So there's a ton that we still want to see.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll
Nice.
probably be out west for a long time
Yeah.
Okay.
to cover it all.
So
It'll probably keep us there a couple of years just to really see it and
Yeah.
appreciate.
And we have several friends that are out west that we'd like to visit. And that's
Yeah.
that's the cool thing about being retired
Yeah.
military is because everybody once they get out of the military or retire, they all
They go
spread out
somewhere.
Sure.
all over
Yeah.
the country. So almost everywhere we go, we got somewhere to hang out or
That's it.
somebody to hang out with.
Yeah.
And now that we have our YouTube channel and other social media, we've made friends through subscribers and through
Sure.
through our Patreon and through YouTube.
The family grows.
And so, I mean, the last several weeks that we were traveling before we got halted here, we were meeting up with somebody almost
Every stop.
every week.
wow, really?
Every stop, we were meeting up with a subscriber or another
It was
YouTube
nice.
channel.
Uh-huh.
We had our current plans. We were going to go across the Gulf and then head
Head
north.
up, yeah.
And we were planning to meet up with a couple of other YouTube channels, another set of subscribers,
Yeah.
and some other military,
Military
friends.
friends.
And yeah,
Was you in Baton Rouge, Louisiana? Is that where it was?
Louisiana. Yeah, that's the last place. That's the last place we really got to do stuff.
Right.
Stuff
Right.
was still open and available.
Well, the Baton Rouge part, not so much New Orleans.
Yeah, once we got to New Orleans, it was kind of everything
It
was.
got really.
It wasn't
slim
like a
pickings.
stay-at-home order yet,
Gotcha.
but it was like nothing's open.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Walmart drive-throughs. That's about
So
it.
yeah, it was like a driving tour of New Orleans.
Gotcha.
We got to see stuff. Didn't get to do anything.
Ah.
Didn't get to
Yeah.
experience like the food and the restaurant and the
Yeah, like
vibe
all that
of
Creole
downtown
food, we
and all
didn't
that
get to
stuff. So
have it.
it just gives us a reason to
Go back.
have to go back to New
Sure.
Orleans. So
Sure.
that'd be cool. Yeah.
Along with that.
Post Coronas.
Anything else you think we didn't cover that you wanted to add, or as far as the lifestyle and everything?
I'll say on camera while we're on camera, thank you for your service. I appreciate you serving the country. We
Same
do a
here.
lot of work with veterans. We
Yeah, you
did
do.
that before we left full time, and we worked a lot in this community in the Columbus, Georgia area with the veterans. And now that we're on YouTube, we're still working with veterans. And as we travel, we donate a portion of everything we make to veteran organizations
Right.
along the way. And that's kind of getting a little messed up right now too.
Yeah.
And we still got the funds separated, and but we just might be a delay in the next donation.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we're kind of stuck.
Gotcha. Gotcha. I know there's a buddy of mine. He's got he does service dogs.
Oh,
And
cool.
he's placed like 53 service dogs.
Wow.
You know, so he's got an organization. He's a vet himself, and he's done a good job with it. I'll have to get the name to you.
Yeah.
Where he's from.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, we're just now in the infancy phase of working on a project with a couple other YouTube
good.
channels
Yeah.
to raise some funds for a veteran organization that trains dogs out in North
Oh,
Carolina.
Oh gosh. Okay.
So
Yeah. Buys them and trains them.
yeah,
Yeah.
but we're more to come on that.
Yeah, good. Yeah. I think he gets most of his from the shelters is where he gets it from.
Oh, that's cool.
It's amazing he's able to train that many. He says he's
Yeah.
got 40 now, but he's going to place another 12 in the next couple of months when they get
Yeah,
when they're ready to
and
go.
it's expensive to
Yeah.
train them.
Yeah. I had no idea.
Yeah, you get employees too. You got to pay, you know, a place to do it, and property taxes.
Especially right now, it's tough.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I hope you enjoyed that video of the interview with Dustin and Leslie. They're a really great couple. Can't wait to see them again. They're going to be in town for a few more days, I suppose, and they're going to be getting on their travelers. I think they're heading up the East Coast and coming back down, and they want to explore the West Coast. Something I want to do one day. It's definitely going to happen, but got to do it now if you're going to start preparing as early as possible. So anyway, I really appreciated them and their time and what they do and the way they're living, because they are really living the coolest life. At least I think so. So anyway, hope you'll consider liking and subscribing to this video and tell your friends about it. And I get more and more subscribers. I'm over 60 now. It's amazing. Anyway, you are now leaving the coolest life.